I went over her SUV, breaking my back in 2 places. My spine had to be fused. So getting me to be able to breathe on my own again was a massive problem. That's when I found out the gravity of what happened to me. It was a beautiful 60-degree day in January in North Carolina, and it was a perfect day to go ride. So I spent the morning riding my dirt bike, living my best life, and then that evening hopped on the back of a motorcycle with a friend. A woman made a U-turn in front of us, and he didn't stop in time. He went through the back window, breaking his leg. I went over her SUV, breaking my back in 2 places. My chest collapsed, my ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I coded twice and had to be resuscitated. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital, and that's when I found out the gravity of what happened to me. I was paralyzed. My spine had to be fused at about 12 levels to be able to correct those 2 breaks in my back. So getting me to be able to breathe on my own again was a massive problem. I spent 3 weeks in the hospital trying to get my health back to where it was before being transitioned to inpatient rehabilitation, where I learned how to be an independent wheelchair user. They taught me how to get dressed, how to use the bathroom, how to shower. Literally the skills that you're taught as a toddler, I had to relearn as a 22-year-old adult. No one talks about the mental trauma of that, the mental barrier of that. I didn't really feel like a human being. I felt like an overgrown child. But personal development saved me by prioritizing movement, recovery, nutrition, and mindset. Completely changed my life and gave me the confidence. I never had seen real struggle until I became a paraplegic. Before I was injured, I worked as an orthodontic assistant, and we had this one patient who would come in. Sometimes he'd come in on his wheelchair. I just thought, wow, that is so sad. His life must be so sad. And that was my perception of his disability. When I became a paraplegic, that's the first family I reached out to. That's the first wheelchair user I ever had one-on-one contact with. After my spinal cord injury, I gained 30 pounds. And so I was at my heaviest, and I just needed to lose some weight. Being a little heavier as a wheelchair user, it makes life a little more difficult than it has to be. And so in 2017, my friend was starting an app, and I was like, there's no fitness apps. So I created an online Facebook group and left it at that. Called it Wheel With Me Fitness. In 2021, an app developer had reached out to me, and he helped me create the Wheel With Me Fitness app. There's fitness routines and classes in there, along with an online community that you can interact with others to be able to reach your goals. We created Wheel With Me Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to serving the independence of wheelchair users. We currently host quarterly empowerment weeks via Zoom, where members of the community join and learn from other members of the community that are teaching their skill or trade. They're completely free. Our ultimate goal is to build a transitional facility to integrate wheelchair users back into independent community. My life is so much better as a wheelchair user than it ever was when I was walking. I have purpose, perspective, faith. I take more risks. I know how short life is because I almost lost my life, and I don't waste a single minute. I am seen. Are you?